What's up, everybody? We got another edition of Chase and Cups here. We like to watch these dumbasses do the stupid things they do to get themselves arrested. And Donnie says hello. Oh, big monster here. Oh, yeah. Anyways, we got the chase of the morning like normal. So here we go. The link to the original video is in the description below. Give them a thumbs up, a like, and well, do the same thing for us. We'd appreciate it.
Pursuit of a grand theft auto suspect.
Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with more for us. Des.
Juan and Amy, it looked like this suspect was going to pull over here in South LA, southbound Figueroa now, coming through 43rd Street, but they decided to pull a fast one and take off from officers after looking like they were going to comply. So you see this wrong way driving now as we get into LAX's very sensitive airspace. The suspect already nearly had a collision here, but taking off southbound, police trying to slow down through the intersection. They had a lot of units lined up for this just in case this exact thing happened. They had their helicopter overhead, and we'll see if LAX will be able to accommodate. They had their helicopter overhead, and we'll see if LAX will be able to accommodate them. Because we do have quite a few new restrictions actually that we're still all becoming apprised of as far as LAX's already very sensitive airspace. So you see as they are in there, the suspect kind of getting away from us though. But we're taking a look. Grand theft auto suspect here, southbound on Figueroa with LAPD in pursuit. Juan, Amy, and Mike.
All right, Desmond, I know Mike Rogers. Mike, you've been monitoring this when it was just a following. When did this go from following to full-on pursuit?
About maybe 15 seconds before we took it to air. So we had gotten SkyCal in position to be over this. They'd been following this guy for quite some time. The watch commander did not want to initiate the traffic stop until the suspect was in a less populated area. So they were following him southbound on Figueroa,
54.
past USC, past BMO Stadium, and then they got to the point where they passed MLK. And after MLK, that's when they initiated the traffic stop. We were overhead for the entire time. We were overhead before they even tried to pull this guy over. Wrong way. Look at that dangerous driving. Southbound Figueroa from 57th Street here. He's been on Figueroa the entire time we've been overhead. Pulled over, and as Desmond said, we thought this was going to be over. We thought the guy was going to give up, and that was going to be the end of it. And then he didn't. He was pulled over, and then all of a sudden kind of took off and gunned it, and here we are. And I can tell you that we are dealing, as Desmond mentioned, with these airspace restrictions. So Des is still sitting over Exposition Park, and we are just looking at a very long distance down.
Almost hit the guy on the bike.
Nice. What is a cyclist doing? Oh my gosh.
Wow, so many close calls.
Too close.
Yeah.
It was a truck that almost hit him first.
Yeah, going against traffic right there. That cyclist seemed kind of confused in the middle of the road about what's like, is this guy going to stop for me or what? And nope, he was not going to stop.
Well, that's the cyclist's
getting
fault.
out of the way there at the last second, but you can see now getting down to about 61st Street and making an eastbound turn. So we're going to have to try to go east over to the Alameda corridor to see if we can pick this up and just kind of jog east along with it to see how long we can follow it here. Looks like he's going to want to get on the southbound 110.
It's busy.
Right now.
It is busy.
Yep, southbound 110. We know how busy that's going to be. Rush hour here. It's probably going to be pretty congested all the way down to the 105. We'll probably just stay. Well, let's see if they're going to stick with it here or get back off the freeway.
That's again,
Right back off of Florence.
Yeah. Okay, and then right off at Florence. And I'm not sure if this is good or bad because the way the suspect's driving, they could have been, going along the right-hand shoulder really fast or something. Chris, if you could just stay right here for a second. Let's see what kind of squeezing his way through. You see how far away they're getting from us, though. So off of 71st Street, he's underneath the freeway. This is going to be really tough to see. Let's see if he comes out on this side.
There he is.
Is that him?
Yeah,
he's behind the building there.
I think that is. Yeah, okay, that's a suspect. They're kind of picking up speed right now. But, this is tough for us and going to be difficult for LAPD's helicopter here trying to deal with LAX. And I don't see any units directly behind the suspect right now either.
This is our second pursuit of the afternoon. The first one was burglary suspects out of the San Fernando Valley. This one, grand theft auto suspects leading police on a pursuit. And Mike, in both of these cases, both very violent driving.
Yeah, both very aggressive driving. And it was interesting because this guy, again, we were following him prior to the traffic stop and prior to it being a pursuit. And he was following the rules of the road. He was stopping at stoplights and doing all of those things as he kind of weaves his way through here, southbound on Broadway through 75th Street. And then all of a sudden it wasn't that. He even acted like he was going to pull over. Officers got out of their cars, had guns drawn, and then he took off. And so now we've just been going southbound Broadway. We were southbound Figueroa, then he came eastbound onto the freeway after getting on the 110 very briefly. Desmond is looking at this just for perspective from a very significant distance. Again, we're looking at this at Exposition Park, and this guy is almost maybe a couple of miles from the 105 freeway. So great distance we're looking at this from. And eventually we're going to have to let Dez cruise east to get around the airspace to try to get a better visual on this as we're going to be coming out of the Bravo on the south side here. But, so much traffic here, you guys. And you bicyclists, pedestrians, and this guy obviously wrong side of the road, into oncoming traffic. Again, a school bus. Look at that.
Yeah.
Incredible. And where are those ground units?
Right there.
Wow.
One coming up right behind him.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah. There's a couple here. So, we're going to have to make a decision here pretty quickly. I've just been, since he's continuing on a north-south street, this has been, the best view that we can get as far away as it is. He's going to be down near the 105 here pretty quickly. So, and then, again, for us, we used to be able to just go down the 110 to catch up with this. We are not allowed to do that at the moment. We have to go all the way to avoid the airspace completely and go all the way east to Alameda and then come back down the 105. Another super close call here. Just so crazy. And so could just... All right, I think we're going to make the call now to head to, maybe we'll give it one more. Well, now we got trees in the way as well. So, all right, let me coordinate with my pilot, Chris, and I'll have to get back to you here, guys.
Yeah, no worries. And meanwhile, Luke in the control room, I just want to give our viewers some perspective about where Desmond has to go. I don't know if you can pull my computer up in a box here as we kind of continue to monitor this. I just want to be able to show people, thanks, Luke, kind of the situation that we're dealing with here. But this guy is still going south, but now he just made a westbound turn there onto Colden. But he is still way far to the south here, crossing back underneath the 110 freeway. Yep. And this is now we're in the very critical airspace of LAX. So the LAPD helicopter is going to be very unlikely to be able to follow it in here because we are on final approach. LAPD's helicopter is only at 300 feet. You have jets above them coming in at like 1,000 feet and lower. So they're going to have a hard time here. Okay, thanks, Luke. So what you're looking at on my computer here is the radar. So this tail right here, 665 is Papa Delta. That is the LAPD ship. Over here, this is SkyCal. So basically what we have to do now, we used to be able to do what the LAPD ship is doing in 110 here. Now, because of new flight restrictions, basically this is the Bravo. So we have to go all the way around Alameda down to the 105. So that's what Dez is doing right now. They're going to come around and join it right here. We can no longer go down this way. So that's why it's going to take us a second to get down there. LAPD is able to continue down here. But as you can see, you've got these jets that are right on top of the LAPD airship. So when I click on the LAPD airship, they're at 425 feet. The jet just to the north of them is at 1,500 feet. So they're all very, very close together there. So we're still listening. It looks like he went back southbound on Figueroa, which is good because he's going to exit. This is the LAPD ship again. He is going to exit the Bravo. The Bravo LAX airspace ends here at the 105. So we'll be able to get south of there. And then once Dez is able to work his way around Alameda and down to the south there, then we'll be able to join back up with the pursuit. But the good news is if this guy is continuing south on Figueroa, which he's at Figueroa and Imperial here, the LAPD ship is able to stay with him because he did not go west and did not go into that more sensitive airspace for LAX. This is, as you can see here, this is the final approach kind of corridor for these planes that are landing at LAX. So it's a very, very critical airspace. And even law enforcement helicopters struggle to be able to operate in that airspace because of just how critical it is for the incoming jets. We know there has been so much more attention to planes and helicopters that are transiting through this area. So it has become a thing. Now we're eastbound on Imperial, just north of the 105. So hopefully we'll be able to pick him up. We can see where Dez is here. Dez is coming through Huntington Park. So Dez and his pilot, Chris, doing a great job to work around that airspace. You've got a second LAPD helicopter that's right here on something else. But we're watching this one. This one is eastbound Imperial. And he is just north of the 105 here. His next big major is going to be...
forward till we get to it?
Evelyn Taft.
Yeah.
She is...
Or get...
Oh, really? Come on. Did I pick the wrong video?
Those calls near...
Oh, here we go.
15 minutes or so.
Here we
Of
go.
the week. It does look like we're going to take it back out to the pursuit, but of course we'll have more coming up in your full forecast in just a little bit. Amy,
Good.
Juan, back to you.
Okay, thanks so much, Evelyn. It's Pat and Rutabaga right now. We are following this pursuit that is, we've been on for about the last 10 or 15 minutes or so, and we can see that this vehicle is back on surface streets. And I'm going to toss it up to Desmond Shaw to find out exactly where we are now. Des?
Yeah, hey there, Pat and Rutabaga. So we're just north of Imperial Highway. The suspect went into... And now look at the speeds picking up here, 45 miles an hour on this tiny street. This is the alleged grand theft auto suspect that looked like they were going to comply with LAPD right by USC. and decided to take off instead. And so we've been kind of all around South LA now on the south end of LAX's airspace. We're just south of the 105 monitoring this as he's coming down to Wilmington Avenue. Really, really close call. The suspect has gone through a lot of red lights, a ton of close calls, near T-bone collisions, a couple of close head-on collisions, almost ran over a bicyclist at one point as we cross underneath the 105 southbound on Wilmington Avenue. It should now be easier for LAPD's helicopter to engage with the suspect here. We'll take this chance to see if we can see if there's anyone else inside right now as they just come flying by us right now as we get into rush hour traffic here on a Tuesday. Very dangerous situation here in South LA. Really, really close call right there. And the danger just continues here. Pat Rudabay, Mike.
Well, you are watching CBS LA at 5 o'clock. And, you know, another interesting note here, Desmond. This guy, wow, this has just been unbelievable the way he has been driving. Do we know where this grand theft occurred?
We have not heard where it occurred, but we know that it was LAPD's Rampart division that had started this pursuit. So look at this, again, I mean, you see how busy all these intersections are that they're going through here. But no, I didn't hear anything on the radios anyway about where this had begun, if this, you know, if this happened today or if this was a known suspect. I mean, obviously this vehicle, you know, reported stolen. So it was on LAPD's radar at some point, but yeah, and it was just really jarring to see how, you know, the suspect looking like they were going to comply. We even heard LAPD saying, looking like the suspect's pulling over, like they're going to comply. And then, you know, as soon as they kind of relaxed their guard a little bit, the suspect took off into the heart of rush hour, and here we go, just taking chances all over the place.
Yeah, and you've been busy today, Mike and Desmond. This is your second pursuit in just a few hours.
It is, and this one actually, hard turn there on the right. This one was actually one of those ones where, and we've talked about this before, where it's a following first, where they have eyes on the suspect. They want to get all their ducks in a row. They got a bunch of units behind them. They had the helicopter overhead. They planned everything out before they even tried to pull this guy over. And because we were up in downtown Los Angeles, we came over and were there, and we were overhead this guy before they even tried to stop him. And then at the intersection, they followed him from basically Pico Union, south of the 10, past the USC and past Exposition Park. Once they got on Figueroa, south of MLK, that's when they tried to start the traffic stop. And as Desmond mentioned, he pulled over. The cops got out, had their guns drawn, were giving him commands, and then bolted. And we saw the whole thing go on. So this was a situation where they were ready to be in pursuit if it needed. They even had so much time, in fact, that we heard the watch commander or the supervisor that is on scene here say, okay, secondary, you're going to be less lethal. The third person in the pursuit, you're going to be this and that. So, close. Right. But so they were ready to deal with this if it turned into this, and it has turned into this. And now we're down in Compton, it looks like, Des, yeah? Willowbrook?
Yeah, here westbound on Rosecrans here, you know, another super busy street, likely to encounter, you know, some backed up traffic here as we approach some of the major intersections. He was maybe millimeters away from that blue car back there. I wouldn't be surprised if he even bumped into him. You know, we're talking about a big SUV right here that is coming down the street at, you know, 60 miles an hour at times here. Just a miracle that they haven't crashed already. So many people having to just bail out of the way at the last second. You just imagine how freaky this has got to be for people who have just gotten off work, and this maniac is driving like this all over South LA and Compton streets. As we can get kind of a decent look at the suspect right now.
So fast.
I mean, 75 miles an hour right now. If he collides with anything, it is just going to be a horrific ending for everyone involved.
Well, he has to slow down now, as we can see. But, you know, you had mentioned earlier that he had done that before, and they thought he was going to get out and possibly give himself up, and apparently changed his mind. You know, Mike, I know you said they are prepared for this, but, you know, what can they do right now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they are calling him a carjacking suspect now, so we are gleaning a little bit more. Originally, they called it a 211 GTA, which is a robbery of a car, Grand Theft Auto here, in the bike lane as this guy is really flying. But, yeah, I mean, their options, they could try a spike. They could try, you know, a pit could be potentially if he gets down to the low enough speeds. But when we're going 80 miles an hour on surface streets here into this mobile gas station parking lot just to avoid traffic. Yeah, just to avoid traffic there. You know, pit maneuvers would be difficult here. They tried tracking mode, which we've talked about before. Tracking mode basically tries to take the pressure off the guy and makes him think, okay, you know, I'm not being chased. Let me slow down. Let me ease up. They were talking about on the radio how that clearly didn't work. So they were re-engaging in the pursuit here. So they are re-engaging. But look at this. I mean, 80, 90 miles an hour here on surface streets.
And Mike, the fact that this is a carjacking suspect, I mean, sometimes we know a little bit about the suspect. They know
he's going to lose it. Oh, he lost it. Right into that tree. It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. This is not a sports car trying to take that turn like it was. And it looks like it is a lady that is out of the vehicle now, trying to walk away. I wonder if she's kind of busted up. She looks like she might be limping a little bit, or if she's just trying to blend in and pretend that she was not the person that just crashed into that tree. But they are going to take her down. LAPD getting the suspect into custody. That was not going to work. The helicopter obviously had perfect visual of that suspect. Just so lucky that this person didn't kill someone else or seriously injure an innocent person in rush hour. Took that turn way too fast. The only casualty is that tree. We'll see if there's anyone else in the vehicle. I don't believe so. This one coming to an end here at Haskins and Alondra in Compton.
You know what Rudabeh, I think, was going to ask the question. So this has been a carjacking, and now we see who is behind it. Yeah. Generally, wouldn't you have a weapon to force somebody out of a vehicle? Yeah, it depends. They didn't indicate, how. Sometimes they will consider that bodily force or even threats or fear. They technically, under the law, can be considered a type of weapon here. But we didn't hear anything about a specific type of weapon. But, that's what's hard is when it's a carjacking suspect, even a stolen car, you don't always know anything about the driver, right. Which is what, sometimes they'll come back for later. But if you don't know who the person is, because it's not their car, they'll stick with it a little bit longer. But, she slammed into that tree at a decent clip. I mean, that had to have hurt at least a little bit. She got out, limped away over there. So I'm sure the LAFD, or where are we? We're in Compton. Compton Fire will probably come out and just, give her the all clear to make sure she can go to jail. But that's really fast. And thankfully, she only hit a tree.
Wow, that was wild.
Yeah.
And so many close calls with vehicles. I was dreading the possibility that we might see pedestrians out
Every
there.
intersection just makes you a little nervous.
Yeah.
Also makes you wonder about her condition.
Yeah.
I mean, the state of mind that she's in right now. And then I asked that question about a carjacking. You usually don't hear about, I'm just going to say it, you don't hear about women carjacking necessarily.
All these chases we do.
People getting out,
Yeah, it's more often than not, it is men behind the wheel.
Yeah, to see a woman. And she certainly looked rather, I don't know, disheveled or out of sorts in a way. And I think that, and Des, I don't know if you can see the car, if the airbag went off as well, but I mean, if you get running into a tree and then having the airbag pop in your face, that'll certainly, wake you up a little bit once you collide with something like that. I'm just looking at how they're handling her right now. They body slammed her because they had to.
Right.
But right now, I don't know, I saw another female officer with her hand sort of on her back,
What's wrong with
and the female officers will do the search and, see what they find, if anything, on her. But that looks like that's what they're kind of dealing with now. Now, I haven't necessarily heard a request for the fire department, but I would imagine because she was involved in a crash like that, they'll at least have a fire department come out and check her out a little bit.
Wow.
So apparently they didn't find anything else in well, I guess they're still searching, Desmond, the vehicle?
I mean, they came up really quick and gave the four fingers, code 4, all clear, so that no one else was in the vehicle. I'm trying to see if that airbag deployed. I mean, I have to imagine that it would have. I mean, you see, it was a pretty serious impact. I mean, fortunately, it did, knock
maybe
the tree
that person bought the cheapy replacements.
Or set the windshield wipers off. I can't see the airbag deployed, but there's also, kind of a lot of glare there from the sun.
Or maybe they're
actually maybe
they took it to a shop who put in the cheapy one.
There, but super jarring. I mean, I think she hit that going 25 or 30 miles an hour, and to just get out and just kind of standing there pretty stoically now at this point. I mean, I will be curious to see too if LA City Fire comes into a check on her, but she seems to be okay. Kind of looked like she was limping for a second, but. Standing there kind of accepting.
And she's got her face in like the little bars there. Like
all right, Desmond, thank you. Of course, there are a lot of questions following this, and we will be following up on all of them.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed another edition of Chase and Cuss. This one, I knew it was going to be shorter than normal, but I didn't realize it was going to have that break in the middle because, like I said, I like to watch these with you so you see my real reaction. Anyways, come back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. And, of course, don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe.